Some soldiers led by Preacher are going into the forest in search of apes, along with some of their slave apes. One of which is an ape named Donkey. They reach near the ape's hideout, where a mounted ape is guarding the place. They target that ape and start firing. There is chaos in the apes. Many apes are being killed. A horseman ape goes to give information to the remaining combat apes. And the rest of the apes come and defeat the soldiers by hitting them with their wooden spears. The soldier informs his colonel that all our people have been killed and perhaps he too will not survive. Apes captures the few remaining soldiers. An ape tells Caesar through sign language that 70 apes have died and many have been injured. Caesar and some slave apes speak human language. Caesar tells the captive soldiers that he did not start this war, but the old Koba ape started this fight. And Caesar has killed Koba. Now he fights only to defend his clan. And the slave who is with him is also a follower of Koba ape. Who want to kill Caesar. Donkey ape tells Caesar that the apes cannot win against the colonel, he is more powerful than us, and all the apes will be killed. Caesar spares the lives of the captured soldiers and sits them on horses to send a message to the colonel. Stop killing apes and don't come into the forest. Winter ape is angry at Caesar for letting the murderers of our people live. Caesar's son and Rocket return after a long journey in search of a new destination. Caesar's son meets younger brother Cornelius, his mother and his wife. Rocket explains to everyone the address of the new location by drawing a map on the stone. Their new home is in the desert on the other side of the mountains away from humans. The white ape named Winter says that they should leave tonight as the soldiers are getting closer. Caesar explains to him, when they went to find a new house, there were only 2 apes, now there are many. We have to come out of this by planning. At night, when all the apes are sleeping in the cave, some lights shine in the waterfall. Caesar wakes up. The colonel arrives with some of his soldiers. Apes kills the soldiers but the colonel escapes after killing Caesar's wife and son. Caesar pursues him but the colonel cuts the rope and Caesar falls into the waterfall. In the morning, Caesar sends everyone to the new destination, and himself goes to the colonel's camp, but Morris an orangutan, Rocket a chimpanzee, and Luca a gorilla, follow him to support him. They see a house on the way, they go there. Then a man tries to attack them, but Caesar shoots him. Inside the house they find a girl, Nova, who cannot speak. Fearing that she will die alone, Orangutan Maurice takes her with him. They collect useful things from there and move ahead. Ahead, through binoculars, they see a camp, where one of their companions, Winter, is there. Caesar sneaks into the camp at night and interrogates Winter about the colonel. Winter tells them that the colonel has gone towards the border. And Winter has betrayed them to save his life. Caesar gets angry because of you my son and wife have died. Seeing the soldiers outside the camp, Winter wanted to make noise but Caesar keeps him quiet and he dies. The troop of soldiers is going, the apes also follow them and when they go ahead, they kill some soldiers. When Caesar and his companions go to them, they find that a soldier is still alive. But he is not able to speak like that little girl Nova. And he also dies. All the apes climb a pole and see the way ahead, then someone runs away taking things from their horse. The apes chase him and catch him, he is also an ape whose name is Bad Ape. He then gives them information about the colonel's whereabouts and gives them something to eat, and tells that the people are getting people infected with some disease and colonel is building a wall by getting the apes to work. Caesar asks Bad Ape to take them there. While Caesar and Luca are looking towards the camp, a soldier shoots at Caesar from behind but Luca gives his life to save Caesar. Then Caesar goes closer to the camp where many apes are hung. While talking to an injured dying ape, Donkey attacks him from behind and takes him to the colonel. There is a conversation between the colonel and Caesar. The colonel tells Caesar that night I had come to kill you but your wife and child lost their lives. Then they take Caesar to the prison where many apes and their children are kept. In the morning the army comes to the prison and puts all the apes to work building the wall. Caesar sees that apes are unable to work due to hunger and thirst. When an ape stumbles and falls, the donkey whips it. When Caesar raises his voice against this and demands food and water for everyone, he is whipped for this. Seeing Caesar beaten, his son's wife Lake starts picking up stones again to save him and everyone starts working. Caesar is left hanging in the open overnight in the pouring snow. On the second night, Caesar is brought to the colonel. Colonel is very impressed by Caesar's intelligence. Caesar asks the colonel to show mercy on apes. On the Mercy Talk, the colonel tells the story of how he himself shot his son because the human race has become extinct due to the viral simian flu. And that's why he's building this wall. And he says, I had no intention of killing your son, but after all he would have taken over your kingdom after you, so I have done the right thing by killing him. Caesar pounces on him, but his hands and legs are shackled. Everyone was given food and water, but he was not given it, and he was left hanging in the open the whole night. Nova comes there secretly and gives him food and water. And she leaves her doll there. Rocket goes there to save Nova from everyone's sight. The colonel also puts Rocket in jail. The colonel comes to Caesar's cell and sends him to break stones. He finds that cloth doll there. Orangutan Maurice, Bad Ape and Nova make their way to the prison through the prison's drained tunnels. All the apes and their babies come out through a hole. The soldiers start firing at them. Several apes are killed. Caesar goes to the colonel's cabin, but the colonel is lying in an inebriated state, and he finds the cloth doll lying nearby. The colonel has also been infected with simian flu from that doll because of that girl. He is unable to speak and begs Caesar for death. But Caesar is unable to shoot him and leaves the gun behind. The colonel shoots himself. Caesar picks up a grenade from there and moves towards the leaking fuel tank, but Preacher shoots him with an arrow. Preacher is about to shoot Caesar when Donkey, seeing the bloodshed taking place on the apes, blows Preacher to shreds with a grenade launcher. A soldier also kills the donkey. Caesar throws a grenade at the fuel tank. And due to fuel and grenade, massive explosions occur. Many soldiers are killed. All the apes go to higher places in the mountains. The enemy army against whom the colonel was building a wall also arrives. But due to the explosions, an avalanche of snow starts. The apes escape by climbing trees, and all the soldiers and the camp perish under the snow. Because of the arrow that hit Caesar, he too is taking his last breath. Caesar dies after telling Morris to take care of his son.